I've been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Was in the gym working my shot, now they pass me the ball. They never answer when I call, now I'm the one they call. I done been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Crazy when you really gotta get it out the mud.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rocky Top Sports Talk. This is your boy, Coach Rice. On this episode, we're going to get into the DC hire from Jim Knowles, man. Big get that Tennessee, Josh Heupel and company is brought in to the staff. Brought on to the staff as a defensive coordinator. I can't say enough about the hire just from the start. It's a massive plus, step in the right direction for Tennessee and this, going forward, and the chance to really establish yourself as a dominant team in the SEC. Now, obviously, it's more than just the coaches. You have to put the players, you have to, put everything together. But to make this hire, to go along with, what we already have on staff, I still think there'll be another change or two on the staff, but massive get for Tennessee. So we'll get into talking about that. We'll talk about some of the things he does, the scheme, the 4-2-5 scheme that, that we're very similar with. He does a few different things, obviously, than what Tim Banks does. But a little easier transition than what some of these other guys may have been. And so we're going to get into that. We also got several other things to talk about that's going around college football, as well as some awards that we're going to bring up and mention. So we'll get into all that throughout the show. Y'all buckle in, eat your supper, do whatever you're doing, enjoy the show. Make sure you're giving us a thumbs up if you like the content, and subscribe to the channel. If you're on, if you follow us on Twitter, or if you don't follow us on Twitter, go follow us at Rocky Top Talks 1 on X. We post on there anytime we go live, communicate back and forth between y'all, as well as our personal accounts are always tag those with our shows. And then go follow us on the Facebook page at Rocky Top Sports Talk. I post on there every time we go live as well. And every once in a while, I post a few other things. But, hey, buckle in. Great show we're going to get into. And let me add my boys Tom and Big Mike to the screen. And we'll get this show on the road. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Not much. Just, wanted to kind of go live the other day after they fired Tim Banks. I know Tom wanted to. He had something going on. I wanted to, but scheduling is just scheduling. But we were able to get at least three of us on here to start the show tonight and get live and talk about this hire and how quick of a transition it was. So, Big Mike, I'm going to let you go first because I know Tom has got a big thing off from it. Big Mike, what's your first thoughts on the firing of Tim Banks, and then secondly, the hiring of Jim Knowles? So you can go both of them.
I think it was time for a change. I think all three of us did.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Vol Nation thought it was time for a change on defense. Who knows what's going to happen as far as, some of the other position coaches and stuff. But I think now, as far as Banks, I understand that, we lost our top two corners last year with them. And we had some other injuries, to kind of make things challenging. But at the end of the day, I just think, I think we had one top 10 defense in his years there, maybe two.
It was one top 10, and then the year before last year, we were 22nd.
Okay. But I think as far as Knowles, I think it's a solid hire. I don't know if I'm ready to say it's a home run hire yet, but I think it's a very solid hire. He's one of the names, that came up in a lot of, when I knew this was going to be a possibility. I said, the list of that people were putting out and tried to read on a lot of the ones that they were putting out, like Walters, obviously, and then Knowles, some other names out there, Justin Wilcox, of course, Muschamp was the guy that I kind of had in my mind that that I was kind of wanting, but all in all, I think from what I've read so far, I think this is a hire, a solid hire for Heupel.
No doubt.
Going into the off season, I try to get as much information on him as I could. In the little time we had before we're done the show, I know places he's been like Cornell. He was at Oklahoma State. DC there. I think he was up for the Broyles Award one of the years he was at Oklahoma
National
State.
championship year. Yeah.
Mhm.
For Oklahoma State?
Yeah, for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Or he may have been at Ohio State when he was up for the Broyles Award. I know he was up for it one year. And played, what was it, defensive back for Cornell, I think?
Yeah, it was either defensive back or linebacker. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe deep. I hate to correct you, but I think he was an end.
Defensive. Yeah, I knew he
think
played
so,
something on defense, but
Yeah.
But I think it was a solid hire from everything I've read so far. Of course, I want to do some more deep diving, over the next few weeks and try to learn more about him. But I think it was a very good hire by Heupel.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, Tom. Just kind of building off what Big Mike said. Obviously, he kind of laid out his career and what he was doing during his career and the positives. Big Mike talked about being nominated for the Broyles Award when he is either at Oklahoma State or Ohio State. Obviously, wherever he's went, he's had a great defense and got that resume behind him. So build off. Obviously, give me your thoughts on Tim Banks being fired, which we know how that will go, and then get into the Jim Knowles hire.
I'm all 6s and 7s right now, y'all. I'm serious. Like that getting rid of Tim Banks, absolutely over.
Let me cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
This is not totally 100% official. He hasn't signed the contract, but everything is 99.9% for sure the hire. He's just trying to work out a couple things, couple wrinkles with his Penn State contract. So sorry for cutting you off, Tom, but
you're good. Yeah, it's not 100% yet. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's not Tim Banks, and I've been ready for that for going on. This is the 3rd season now, and that's just me. It's just my personal, as far as what I want to see from a defense. I like that he comes from a solid dose of the Big Ten the last 3 years, going to stop the run. They had the #1 run defense in the country last year when Ohio State won the national championship. Now, that's a lot of players that balance it out. But as far as, look, I don't wish Tim Banks any ill. I'm happy that he tried his best here, but at all the hunky-dory stuff out the door, man, you gotta prepare the guys better. And I'm pretty sure that I just had him go through my mind here. Jim Knowles. I'm pretty sure Jim Knowles is going to have guys prepared to play. They're going to have backups prepared to play if they have to go in. Heaven forbid something crazy happens again like it did this year, next season, and we have 2 guys out. I don't want to speak that kind of stuff into reality, but you got to have all the guys on the defense and even some of the interior guys on, special teams. You got to be prepared to play specific positions as a backup. You just do. Yeah. And our backup guys, they played real well sometimes, and then they didn't get put into a position to be successful in some other times. So that's a combination of really skilled athletes with poor preparation from the coaches. I think this is going to change. And it's not going to be like year one. Look, we got some killers coming back on defense next year. If Arian Carter, Edwin Spillman, and not Jeremiah Thielander, even though I like him, I just had the other one going through my head. Yeah, Jaden Perlotti. That's a great, solid group of linebackers. Yeah. If Ricky Gibson comes back next year with Colton Hood, like that's going to be great. But we got to actually know that putting in it's not a new defense. You're about to get into that here in just a second. It's not a completely new defensive look. But I'm pretty sure he's going to have the cojones to do certain things in certain situations that it's going to take a little while for you to get what he's looking at. You gotta be pissing through the same straw, like you gotta know what your assignment is based off of how you're coached. It's gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And how he interacts with Inge, and you're about to touch on this some more, but if other position, and Big Mike brought it up a second ago, if specific position coaches might be cycled through, how are you gonna align with your new guys that you bring in? Because Tim Banks was supposedly a secondary guy, that was supposedly his whole thing, but I didn't see much of that. So how are you going to interact with the guys that are under you as your assistants? That's going to be huge, because you're going to have a huge boost. You're going to have Rodney G.
Yeah.
And Inge is able to recruit. He's shown it. So that's automatically 3 pluses right there. New look on the defensive coordinator. You got 2 of the better guys in the recruiting world in the SEC running for you. I mean, I'm happy, man. I couldn't be more happy right now.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. I'm pumped. I'm being fully transparent. I think this was the best hire they could have made as far as potential. Going to get the guy you need to go be a national champion. Not saying Walters wouldn't have been a great hire. Not saying Muschamp wouldn't have been a great hire. Not saying any of these other guys wouldn't have been a great hire. But I think this was Josh Heupel's. Just being honest, I think this was his 1A guy, and he went and got him. Obviously, we got kind of lucky he was available because of the coaching situations that have transpired this off season, and that's crazy in itself. All the this has been the craziest off season as far as coaching hires and changes that I've ever witnessed in years. And now you add Michigan to the board, and y'all ain't gonna believe it, but the first name that have popped up on people's hot boards for Michigan is Kalen DeBoer. So we'll see what all happens there. But I'm not saying that would happen. I think it'd be stupid to leave Alabama on purpose to go to Michigan. But who knows? Stupider things have been done. I just made
wild times, man. Things are getting crazy in college football.
Yeah. And so you look at what Coach Jim Knowles brings to this defense. He brings a veteran mentality, a resume that is respected across the nation. Like it's NFL, it's high school, it's college coaches across the nation know who Jim Knowles is and what his resume is. And I'm looking at some safeties out there that, hey, come play for this top tier defensive coordinator who year after year puts safeties in the league and just goes and it's defensive wide, but I'm just, that's been our weakness for a while. So I'm just sitting here thinking, go target these safeties, like be part of this roster that has already got some talent on the team. Now let's just go make a complete roster. We got a new solid DC who, hopefully adds that extra step that we need to get to where I know all 3 of us want to be, and that's national championship contenders. Let me get in the chat before we build on. I know we got lots to get into. Hey, real quick, I appreciate all y'all for coming to join the show, coming in, watching. This is great. I think we hit 29 earlier, which is the most we've had on a live show. So I appreciate all y'all. Casey was in the chat early. He said, pumped about Knowles. Moore getting arrested early. Arrested is crazy. Let's flip Hiter. Yes, that's going to be something we talk about. That will be something we get into later on the show. I got it pulled up in one of my mini tabs. Eric was in the chat early. He said he was asking about his official. We kind of answered that. I know you had kind of mentioned about Colton Hood. That's a 50-50. I think he's about on the same thing of Lance Hurd. I know he's projected in some drafts as a first-round pick, but I saw a Twitter thing the other day where someone was going back and forth with him on Instagram, and he was playing as if, I know these guys be playing people off, but he was playing where he was making us think where he may come back. Casey goes on.
Hope so, man. Before we move on from Colton Hood, there's needle movers for next year's team that you either lose some gas or you pick up or stay where you were. That's a dude that we need for coverage. He's got a holding problem that he didn't get called on but so many times this year. But Colton Hood, if he comes back, that is A1A tremendous for UT next season. Definitely get further on into it. But before we move on from Hood, he's huge for us next year.
Yeah, massive. And just to tag along with it, he'll have a freshman all SEC third team on the opposite side of him, Ty Redmond, much deserved for a freshman. Eric says, thanks, Coach Rice. I'm excited for Tennessee to make it official. Jim Knowles is one of, if not the best DC in the nation. He goes on later to say, because I agree that 100% I'm excited about Jim Knowles because him and Rodney Gardner are going to get together, especially them both being old school. Yes, I agree with that. I love old school coaching. That's what I try to be with my guys. It's just there's players take to coaching differently, and it just seems like in this day they respond a little better to that form of coaching. I mean, I may be wrong, but I think that is the case. Fuzzy got a dollar says, good evening, y'all. What's up, Fuzzy? Eric said, I agree, Coach Ryan. I think Heupel's number one. Sam, what's up, Sam? He said, heard we are lining up to spend big money in the portal. Guys, we want to come play for a guy who has sent a lot of guys to the league. Yes, exactly. Laura says, hell yeah, you dang right. And then Tom, you going on, what do you think about Knowles, about Penn State this year? Yeah, that's something else we'll get into about his kind of what he did this year at Penn State when we pull up. And I tell you what, I'll go ahead and pull this up since we're talking about it. I just got to find the right. Here it is. On3 obviously posted it. Jim Knowles expected to be the hire at Tennessee for defense coordinator, just kind of working out some minor details with this buyout at Penn State. So we should hear something more about that probably tomorrow. I expect finalized. If not, you know, we still got a couple hours before bedtime tonight, so we may hear something about it tonight. Like Tom said, y'all go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and get us fired up. Get those thumbs up rolling. But guys, I know I talked about just a little bit the 4-2-5 defense. Tom, I know you've been an advocate against it. Or been someone that's against the 4-2-5, but me and you've talked back and forth, and Big Mike was in the chat too talking about it, or in the text group talking about it. 4-2-5, yes, there's pros and cons to it, but why do you think Jim Knowles' 4-2-5 is going to be better at Tennessee than what Tim Banks did?
He's just going to be more aggressive. Not just more aggressive, okay? Tim Banks can throw a blitz at you all day. Okay, there's games where we ran more blitzes than we didn't, and we just sat back. Look, that's not the whole thing. It's how do you do it? It's when do you do it? It's which looks are you looking at? Look, there's times where we sat on this channel in the last 3 months and we're looking at a safety that's running towards a bubble screen to the inside position where the inside slot guy used to be, and he's now bubbling outside. I'm thinking the Georgia play specifically for that real long touchdown. Like, that is just one thing that of dozens of examples of being out of position that comes to mind. It's not just throwing a blitz at somebody. Any idiot can call a blitz, and you can get burned on that blitz every single time if you don't know what look you're looking for on offense. If you want the team to come out for, hey, this is exactly what we looked for. This is exactly what we saw on film. Film's all we got to go on. Go ahead and run it, buddy. You know, I mean, that, and you've also got to correctly carry it out. You can't just go in there and say, oh, well, we got to be more aggressive. Well, no doubt you got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to do it. And it's not exactly like, yeah, I'm not a 4-2-5 fan. I'm not somebody that's going to run that as my base defense. If I was going to have a base defense. Look, this is just me. I didn't play defense in college. This is my thing with defense. We're kind of in a spot now where you're playing so many different teams, even within the same conference. Look at the Big Ten. Jim Knowles was in the Big Ten with two different teams, two different top-tier teams. Didn't do so well this year at Penn State, but, I mean, hey, that is what it is. That's one bad season versus a lot of really good. And then he was with Ohio State before that for, what, 2-3 seasons?
Yeah.
You're seeing in those 4 total seasons, if he was with Ohio State for 3 and Penn State for 1, you're seeing a lot of different offense thrown at you. You're seeing Michigan line up with, what, probably 32 personnel or even a 23 look or something like that. You're seeing teams like Iowa do the same thing. Okay, so you're going to be able to stop the run because that's what you've seen. Yeah. But then you also play against other teams when you're at Ohio State, like Oregon. Oregon's not lining up in 23 or 32 personnel. They're coming out with 4 or 5 receivers most of the time. They're running bubble screens. They're looking RPO. You know, they're running all these different looks. And all these different plays against you. And they did relatively well against Oregon's offense last year, and they beat the death out of them in the playoff. So I'm happy for it because I think he's going to have a lot of experience at an elite level in the last couple of years. And throw another dart at the board, you know, but I don't think Tim Banks ever really saw an elite offense until he got to the SEC where he was at. So, I mean, that's just something coming in, you know, that's a huge benefit right there because you're going to do better on preparation. You got more experience at an elite level, and you're going to be able to put in your system and say, hey, look, this is what we're playing. Now, is he going to make a really good jump of looking at multiple different things to the SEC where you just got, you know, okay, we're going to get it to our playmakers every damn play. You do that against Oregon. That's great. You do that against a couple other teams. Like they beat the tar out of Indiana last year. Indiana's a get it to your playmakers kind of a team. They're not a line of scrimmage team. I'm happy with the way that he looks coming in for sure.
Yeah. I, without a doubt. And I think right there with what Casey said, I mean, it's going to be a step up. I think the teaching, the coaching is going to be at a next tier. I know Tom kind of said it earlier. I think the teaching and the coaching, the assignment based is going to be at a tier that we haven't had at the Tennessee in quite a while. They're going to be very assignment sound. So just building off of that, Big Mike, what do you like Jim Knowles does for us in the transfer portal and in recruiting? Hiring a guy of his, establishment, what do you think it does for us in recruiting and in the portal?
I mean, I think it's going to be big. I mean, because you're going to have, specifically probably a lot of safeties, that may want to come and play in this defense because – kind of building off what you said about the 4-2-5. I know he runs a 4-2-5 as his base, but he likes to run a lot of 3 high safety looks. He does, he does a lot of things to disguise what he's actually going to do to like confuse the other, like the offense. I've read up on that some, like his gaps, his pressure packages, or he likes to disguise
Yes.
a lot of stuff. Like, so I think this is. I'm excited, like you, Tom. I'm really excited to see what we'll do with him because, and like you said, Coach, from a preparation standpoint, like I was watching a couple of videos from Ohio State players talking about him. The Tennessee game last
Mhm.
year was talking about how well prepared they were because they had 3 weeks to prepare for Tennessee. And
Yep.
it's like Knowles prepared them so well that, you know, when they would get in certain looks on defense and then the way they would line up, they knew what play they were going to run because they were so well prepared. And hearing that just kind of gives me a little bit of confidence in knowing that, you know, from a preparation standpoint, that I think we're going to be a tier above what we were this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, you hit it spot on. You covered several different looks. That three high safety look where he does mix in the coverages, what the quarterback's seeing versus what they actually fall into, and then secondly, the blitz packages that he gives, the different looks. With that 4-2-5 scheme, yes, there's a base there that you see often in early down packages, but there's a lot of things you can do out of it when it comes to blitz packages and rolling guys and moving guys around in the secondary. I think we've kind of covered it all throughout. I think kind of like Big Mike said, I don't think I can say it's a home run hire just yet. I want to see his first year on the field, what he does this offseason, what kind of talent does just his name, attract, and then go prove it on the field. Then after that, then we can say, yes, this was a home run hire. This is what changed Tennessee. Coach Heupel hit it on the $1 million spin. Like he could
Mhm.
not have made a better hire. And like I said earlier, these other guys that were names that were thrown out there could have been great hires, but a guy like the Walters guy, that may have been a home run hire right from the get go because of what he brings. But I think there's a knowledge here that we hit a great got a great hire. And so Jim Knowles is someone that is, like I said, established across the NFL, across college and high school sports with the recruits that
Mhm.
he coaches up a great defense. It's a multiple defense, but at the same time, it's a play no games defense. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to play physical, and they're going to be very, very well taught in
Mhm.
the back end and in the front end. And it's kind of something that I want to else get into, Big Mike. What do you think this means for the rest of our coaching staff? Do you think Coach G, which I feel like Coach G's going to stay, and Coach Chop, from everything I'm seeing from Austin Price and from some other media people, and then Coach Inge, that'd be him being the interim DC, kind of what that means going forward. And then you got Coach Martinez.
Mhm.
What's the look there? I mean, I don't know if Coach Knowles tries to bring someone from Penn State with him off of his defensive staff. Who does James Franklin take with him to Virginia Tech? We'll see. So, B Mike, what do you think his staff, his defensive staff, is going to look like? Do you think it'll be much of the same, or do you think this is someone that may bring in a couple of his own guys?
Um, I want to touch on, like, just to add to what I said before, real quick, if you
Okay.
don't mind.
No, that's
Um,
fine.
uh, Paul Feinbaum, I seen they talked to him about this hire or possible hire, and he was talking about how they were talking about Heupel
Mhm.
not really being in the elite of coaches, in the ACC. He's like slipping more toward average, but he said that this hire right here could be the one that saves Heupel as far
Yeah.
as building toward the future and being able to stay around for a while. So I did see that. But I really like Coach Garner. He's a hell of a recruiter. The defensive line. Inge, I kind of hope he does keep him around.
Yeah.
But as far as Martinez, like I'd be good if he brought in. I don't know what he had at Penn State as far as secondary coach. I don't know who he could bring in, but I think maybe kind of how we talked about Banks. It was time. I think maybe it's time that maybe we get a different look in the secondary. Hopefully, I don't. Like I said, I don't know what he can bring as far as if he's got anybody in mind, but I do. I think it would be time for a change there. But I do
Okay.
like Garner and Inge.
Yes, I love Gardner. I love Inge. Love Coach Chop. I think those are all three guys that would be really important for us to keep on the staff, especially with their repertoire and what they've been establishing recruiting wise. And then obviously with Coach G, what he brings to the table when it comes to coaching his D line and getting the best out of what he has. So, guys, I do want to, re-mention this is not 100% set in stone. It's about 99.9%.
Which we like.
Which we like. It's
like.
there. He's still working some few and minor details about a payout with Penn State, but as of right now, it looks like this is going to be the guy that will be the DC. Can't wait. Can't want to go ahead and get on here talk about see what type of impact. Obviously, if it backfires and something happens, we'll just rebuke it all, and something will go a different direction. But wanted to get a step ahead of the game and go ahead and start talking about it, and because we got a bowl game, and then we got transfer portal season, y'all, coming up, and getting this dude in the boat before transfer portal season was massive because you don't want guys
huge.
And you don't know what he's going to want to do with his defensive staff, so it's going to be massive for him to be able to come in and establish what he wants with building that camaraderie with Coach Heupel and the rest of the staff. So it was massive getting him on right now, and hopefully they signed the deal and it's official come tomorrow or later tonight. So we'll get into that. Let me get back to the chat before we get back going. Let's see. All right. Sam, let me get here we go. Casey Martinez is an elite cornerback coach. Our struggles are at safety. Casey said, I agree and I disagree. There's been times where some of his things he teaches is very questioned. Obviously, he's not a strong recruiter. I think he does some positive stuff out of the portal without a doubt. Whether that be, that could be just money talking, or that, or just open playing time being available. That could be a question, but you can't deny what he's put out. I mean, he has Emmanuel Mosley on his name, Cam Sutton on his name, Jermon McCoy on his name, the development of Ricky Gibbs. There's Colton Hood being developed. Like, there's guys there. So I agree with you to a point. I very much agree with you. But there's just certain things that you feel like he's teaching that sometimes you look at, like not turning your head around and playing the ball on deep balls. That's some of the things that get questioned oftentimes from Willie Martinez. But I do agree with you to a point, Casey. Let's see. I missed one. Let's see. Killer Dude 35. I'm actually more excited about the potential getting Hiter than I am our new DC. We are going to get into that later, I promise.
We're about to.
Yeah, Corey Collins, it was looking all but confirmed until Michigan job opened up. Now there's talk of his plane being diverted, but that's probably just rumor. I haven't seen that. I'm thinking I don't see there any way possible Jim Knowles ended up at Michigan as a head coach, because now they're looking for a head coach now. They're not looking for a DC. So that's more likely just rumor. Um, Corey Collins, it'd be our luck to lose him due to that. That would be our luck. That would be Tennessee's luck, but I just don't see that being the case.
Not
If
today.
if it is, like I said, we'll rebuke it all, and we'll take this show down. So that being said, anyone in the chat feel like that if you think this is the best possible hire Tennessee could have made, give us a thumbs up or some orange emojis. To me, I think you couldn't have gone wrong here. I think this is the Casey said Justin Coleman, that is another one. I think Tennessee could not be in a better spot than they are now. Obviously, we still have a quarterback situation that we need to talk about. You got the transfer portal that's going to start here soon. But I think you could not have done any better than what we've got with Jim Knowles. So if you go back and look at what they did this year at Penn State, I know they were talking about in the chat this year. Y'all put an asterisk on this year for Penn State. I'm just put an asterisk on it. Do yourself a favor and put an asterisk on it, because no one wants to be in that situation where you don't have a head coach. You're all your expectations of being the number one team in the nation or number two team in the nation preseason, and to be at the spot where your coach is fired midseason. They have nothing to play for. So I think you just throw all that out the window and just go back to what he did at Ohio State. And even before all that tumbled and fell apart, he had the top 5 defense in the nation before all that crumbled into place. So and he constantly puts out top tier NFL guys wherever he's been. Oklahoma State, Ohio State. This year he's got some top tier defensive guys on the defensive side of the ball at Penn State. So plus get. So anything else y'all want to kind of add to we've been going here for about 36 minutes. Anything else y'all want to add to the Jim Knowles talk before we move on to the next subject?
Yeah, one thing here about what you were just saying about that season with Penn State. Yeah, definitely put an asterisk on it. But check this out. I'm more in line with the realism. I try not to be pessimistic, but this is coming from me, from someone who could be characterized falsely as a pessimist, okay? They lost a nail-biter, hell of a football game to Oregon, okay, in 2 overtimes by 6 points. That's a rough loss. Like that's a hard one to take. But then they lost to UCLA, right? That defense gave up 42 points to UCLA the next game. That's a hangover game, okay? You got to have some context to some of these losses. Then you lose by 1 point to I just had them in my head a minute ago, and now I got to look. I think it was Northwestern. I know they lost to Northwestern by a point, and then Iowa by a point. That's rough, man. And then you go into Ohio State, and then you go to Indiana, who they almost beat. They had Indiana on the wire, man. They had some rough losses. Like Tennessee had some rough losses this year where we cost ourselves a football game. Penn State had some rough losses this year where they cost themselves a football game. And a lot of their woes were offensive too. They couldn't stop UCLA's offense, but they really did put a lid down on Indiana's offense, which was something to watch. They had some rough times, and they also had some injuries defensively. So that's literally it. I'm over the moon about Knowles. But just to give some context, like you were saying, you've got to have just a little bit of backdrop for this past season at what happened at Penn State. We all saw it at Tennessee. Hell, what was it, 2007? We were top top 3 or 4 pick, oh, well, some people are picking us to go to the national title game. Philip Fulmer retires at the end of the year because it was that bad. I mean, things like that really snowball out of control.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at his successes, he's got a lot more pluses than he does that minus with Penn State. And I only say that and give the context again because I did see – I'm a Twitter troll, so I see a lot of people that were a little bit concerned, like I'm not sold. I don't like it. He was Ohio State. How's that going to translate to the SEC? I think that translates better to the SEC. Honestly, I do.
I think no matter what you do, you look at his resume, you look at what he's done year in and year out. Yes, he's had some defenses that it took a game or two, but by the mid to the end of the season to the playoffs, they're lethal. They're so good that it is dominant. So guys, I can't say enough. I appreciate y'all for coming on. This is blowing my mind, the amount of viewership that we're getting. I appreciate all y'all for coming on and joining the show. The chat's being lively. I appreciate that, y'all talking in chat. If you want to know when we're going live, follow us at Rock Top Talks 1 on Twitter, and then at Facebook at Rock Top Sports Talk. I try to post on there every time we're going live, and then just subscribe if you can, if you like the content, and give us a thumbs up. It kind of helps with the algorithm. So please do that if you like the content. I don't want to be out here bribing y'all for or trying to take money from y'all for getting thumbs ups. Just if you like the content, that's all I'm asking for. So, Big Mike, what's the next thing you want to get into? You want to talk about Michigan?
Yeah.
Just real quick on the last thing on Knowles.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Just props to Coach Heupel for getting this done before transfer portal season opens. I mean, you kind of touched on that, but I think this is something that he absolutely had to nail down before transfer portal season open. And if this happens, props to him for getting this done. I think it's a very, we've already touched on thinking it's a good hire, but just props to him for getting this done before transfer portal season to hopefully lure in some talent out of there to help us next season.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think this portal, once it opens up, the floodgates are going to happen, and players are going to be flocking to Tennessee. Not only because of the coaching staff and the players that we have here already that make for a great potential for a great team, but that money. I know Tom don't like talking about it, but it's a real thing, and it's something that we have to talk about. That is a plus for Tennessee because it's something that we have a wealth of, and Coach Heupel and company will spend it in the necessary areas that we need to improve this team. So can't wait for this transfer portal season to open up. I know I saw where Brandon Anise, Tennessee linebacker, is supposed to enter the portal once it opens up. I saw that post today. So just another guy that really is only a special teamer that is leaving this roster. We really haven't been hit with anybody yet that I wouldn't expect to enter the portal. So with that being said, let's get into the next subject of the day. Boom. It's never too late. Never too late. You got Savon Hiter, getting arrested and getting fired from Michigan. Still blows my mind, that whole situation. And just know Savon Hiter's been fired and for cause, obviously. And he will no longer be the coach at Michigan. So what does that mean for our guy, Savon Hiter? I think this dude is going to have every opportunity across the nation to become recruit that is targeted, and hopefully Tennessee. I think they'd be stupid not to pick up the phone. Hey, I know you're getting released from that letter of intent.
Mm-hmm.
Come join our class. Come join Tristan Keys and Faison Brandon and the rest of these boys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go win a freaking national championship on Rocky Top. Well,
Yeah.
hey, go ahead and spam it in the chat, y'all. Yeah, go ahead and spam it. We won't hide her. Go ahead. We do. We won't hide her. As simple as that. So, yeah, Chris Compton. I know we're going to get into all that, but I see it right here. Going to replace Legend with Hiter. That's the exact words I'd use. So I'd take it in a heartbeat. Give Coach Heupel an elite running back. See what happens. Let me get to the chat. Let me get to the chat real quick. Let's see. We'll be loaded as always. Can't wait to watch them. We'd be better to go get some D tackles. Our D line looks soft and small this season. I will agree with that. We do need to add to our D tackle room. You got guys like Elijah Campbell and Ethan Utley coming back, Nathan Robinson, David Hobbs coming back. Him being out majority of the year, first part of the year, and then him coming on. He played really good late. So hopefully a good, healthy offseason for him means a monster next season. So, but I agree with you. I think we need to go add one or two big-time D tackles in the portal along with secondary guys. Super Bowl. Rumors have it that Moore breaking and entering his assistant's house and going ballistic. Nothing shocks me anymore. And that's coming from an Ohio State fan. Wonder that. Gonna replace Legend with Hiter. I've already read that. I know winning the World Series is hard, and probably I believe we're talking. Yeah, I was going to get to that. I meant to bring that up earlier. Big Orange Ball. Yes, this baseball season is going to be fun to watch. I think Elander's got a team that's going to be able to go win or go at least go to Omaha. So, and we will. I can't wait to baseball season. Because we will cover that as much as possible. With me being a head middle school baseball coach as well, it'll be tough, but I'm going to cover it as much as I can.
Definitely going to cover baseball.
Hey, let's get into this, man.
Yeah.
What do you think Hyder coming to Tennessee, if that were to happen, would mean for this class that we just signed?
It would take us from a number 7 class to a number 6 or 5 class. I mean, that dude's a needle mover for sure. I mean, you're talking about the top tier ratings needle movers. We gotta kind of back up because I hate how I even reacted to the whole thing in the first place. Let me back up. We need to look at guys who are committed to play for Tennessee, right? Hey, it didn't take him but a split second to say when he committed that day that he was committing to Michigan. Like that, he didn't mess around, went right to the Michigan, and it was over. My heart sank, I was upset. But hey, he knew that's where he was going, right? Maybe he's the kind of guy. He kept his commitment quiet too, man. He didn't talk to a lot of people. I remember constantly waiting to hear for some word from him as to where he was leaning. And he would just give out, top 8, top 5, top 3, whatever it is. But he wouldn't actually say, I'm leaning here, I'm leaning there. But the way that he went, I know he was committed to Michigan. That's great. Was he committed to Sharon Moore? Because Sharon Moore was committed to running the football even with Mr. Universe that they just picked up at quarterback. I know he was a freshman, had a little bit of a growing pain kind of a season because they didn't have the O-line they usually do, et cetera, all that stuff. Or was he committed to University of Michigan because that's where he wanted to go? If it's one of those two things, if it's the Michigan thing, we're not going to ply him out. And I applaud him for that, for having commitment. But, he didn't toss our hat, so, he didn't toss it aside. So, absolutely. He didn't burn his bridge or nothing. Yeah, he
didn't burn a bridge, and that's something I was going to add to it, that it'd be one thing if it was his, running back coach or something like that, and but this is a whole different situation that's supposed to happen with Michigan. Not saying that this is going to happen, but I guarantee you Tennessee at least whispers in the ear saying to his, agent or whoever he's got that's representing him, hey, y'all don't have a head coach now. Won't you come to Tennessee and join Tristan Keys and Faison Brandon and the rest of this class and come be elite and come win national championships? I really do feel like the opportunity will be there. I don't know if there'll be time based. If Hiter will kind of wait it out and see what's going to happen. If that's the case, it may not happen. But if it's something that where he pulls the trigger quick, what Tennessee should be in play. What do you think about this, Big Mike? What I know you were the first person that texted me in the text chat.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it. You text me that Sharon Moore had been fired. I about crapped my pants. I was like, what in the world? Where did it come from? And then that's the first thing that came to my mind. And you were 5 seconds later saying, let's go get Savon Hiter. I was like, heck yeah, let's go get Hiter. So what's your thoughts, Big Mike, on this?
Wasn't Tennessee one of his final 2 or 3 schools?
Yeah, it was between us and Michigan.
Down to the wire, yeah.
Down to the wires between us and
Michigan. That's what I thought. That's why I think I'm like you. I don't know if he'll wait it out and see who they'll hire as coach. I'm assuming they'll probably try to get somebody pretty quick. Or fairly quick. I don't know if he'll wait and see. But like I said in the text chat, we'd be crazy not to try to go get. I mean, just think if you add him to our, with Deshaun Bishop and possibly DeWanye Morris, Peyton Lewis, who knows what's going to happen with him. And our line, I think, man, that would be a hit for us. I think he could probably see the field next year, possibly, if somebody like him comes in.
If he comes to Tennessee, he's getting at least some looks. Like, I mean, it's going to be like Tristan Keys next year as well. Like, they're going to find a way to get him on the field. Like, it's like David Sanders this year. You don't just have 5-star top-tier guys that you're paying millions for not be on the field. So, I'm right there with you, Big Mike. I mean, I think you hit it spot on.
Our room could be stacked the next couple of years, especially, if we can lure in Gabriel Georges next year after seeing him in the championship game and winning Mr. Football and all that. I hope Heupel and them makes him a priority next year.
Hey, Big Mike, I'm just letting you know, you making me smile, man, talking about all these running backs. You talking about Tennessee running back back in the day, Travis Henry, Travis Stevens, Gerald Riggs Jr., Cedric Fleming. Like, you just keep going.
Gerald Riggs, Aaron Hayden, James Littleman Stewart.
Montario Hart. Like, just keep going. And, it's just I know Tom's the same way. We're both run the ball guys, and it's just making my heart melt talking about all these top tier 5-star elite talents. Thinking about coming to Tennessee in the room, the capability of what that room could be. And the funniest part of it is Deshaun Bishop would be your starter next year with all those 5-star all that talent. And he was a preferred walk-on, man. I love every second of it, but that's college football today, fellas. So I think that would be great. So Savon Hiter, obviously, that's a go-getter. If it's available, if it's there, you're taking that opportunity because you don't get many opportunities like that. If it affects David Gabriel Georges, I don't know, but if the opportunity is there, he's saying he wants to come to Tennessee, you're just not going to turn that down. Like, I mean, I'm just like, you have to go get. If he's saying he's wanting to come, you're accepting that no matter how it affects DGG, which I hope it wouldn't, because you could have 2 big brawlers in the backfield and go just look at Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions. So,
Yeah, and they line up with a fullback too, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you mentioned the Detroit Lions. I love watching them play because they line up under center with a damn fullback and they run the football. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Lots of motion, lots of play action, lots of power, lots of zone, and coming right at you. And that's a credit to the coach. So, look at the coaches we have now. Yeah. I mean, you look at our coaching staff, look at the experience, look at the knowledge, look at the recruiting ability. Obviously, like I said, there may be a few changes here and there with the Jim Knowles thing, but that's kind of wait and see. So with Savon Hiter, man, anything y'all want to add to this before we move on to the next thing I want to pull up?
Get them.
I think we can all agree that it's probably a foregone conclusion that Halsley's going to be back next year.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything to lead me to think otherwise. I'm just hoping that, if he is back next year, maybe there's a change there where we've talked about all the play calling duties being handed over to him completely to allow Heupel to focus more on game management and stuff like that. So that's remains to be seen, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's a big one right there. Killer Dude said, and we still don't have a running back in this class. We could sell them as being the only one. Yes, that's massive. That's another reason why I didn't think come on. There's nothing holding you up. So let's see. Casey says, how appealing is the Michigan job after all this, though? All the good candidates are gone. That's true. Which, I mean, there's nothing set in stone now these days. So, people can jump ship like that. So, get Hiter and go get Gorgeous, however he wants me to say it, I'll take him. Next year at Baylor, yes, that dude, y'all, I watched him at the state championships last week, bro. Get him with however you can get him. Staley was a freshman this year, and he will win. He did win freshman of the year. Man, that's a great segue here because that's what I was going to pull up. Let me right here. Here it is. Freshman of the year, Braylon Staley. Man, what a job Braylon Staley did this year. Freshman. Stepping up into the slot force, did big things. A lot of people were, questioning the wide receiver room going into the preseason. What would they do growing wise?
Yeah,
I know. I mean, I think all three of us. Joey did too. I think there's question marks that would need to be answered. How about all three of them just go out and show out? Braylon Staley getting freshman of the year, Chris Brazell getting SEC all first team. Man, that's just mind blowing to think what a quarterback can do that can actually deliver the ball down the field and accurately, and be in position, whether it be the scheme that we changed up a little bit, the wrinkles a little bit here and there, that the coach puts you in position to succeed. So tip of the cap to Braylon Staley. Dude, you got 2 more big years ahead of you, at least 1 more. I don't think he'll go after next year as a redshirt sophomore, but he has that ability. He goes out and puts up a Blitnikoff award-winning season. Go do your thing in the NFL. But
speaking of that, like how we talking about Brazil, like I'm still baffled at how he got snubbed on being on the Blitnikoff. He wasn't in the final 3, was he? I don't think, and
no.
He was the only. And we talked about this the other day. He was the only receiver in the SEC this year that had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah. It was pretty mind blowing that the lack of respect.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
And at least put him in the top 3, considering that the other 2 guys that were on the field with him at the receiver position,
exactly,
were also in 8. They all had
They were all
Over,
three of them top 10 in the SEC in receiving yards.
yeah, so over 750 each. I mean,
Yeah.
for 3 receivers, that's wild. Or over what? Do the math on this. They had like 800, 750 each at least
Well,
or more, and he
yeah,
had
or more.
1,000. I
Yeah.
mean, that's wild. So you got to think as an idiotic sports writer who are commenting on these things or who have control over these things, whoever it is that has their thumb on something like that. You got 2 other receivers on the field that are plus 750 on the receiving yards.
Staley
Yeah.
had 806, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's
And then,
got to be. Yeah, you
and
got to take that into
Matthews was
account.
750 plus.
Yeah, even if you're not going to give it to him, okay? Like, let's just stipulate that he's not going to win it. Even if you're not going to give it to him, you still got to put him in the top 3. Especially when your best game of the season by far was against one of the top tier defenses in the SEC. I mean, that the Georgia game was insane, right? I mean, and let's just face it right now. That Georgia game goes differently. We're in the playoffs right now because we had the roll of steam and everything, you know, that the whole season goes differently. It just does. We all know it just does. Like that's a program changing loss for the season, but it could just be a moment where, hey, you get better, whatever it is that you've got to do. They didn't do that this year. They had a little bit of a downer after that. Something changed after that Georgia loss, but you go into that differently on the other side of it, baby, it's playoffs, man. It's possibly even SEC championship and a first round bye because the momentum that builds off of that momentum is everything. Confidence in yourself on the field's everything. That dude's winning the Belitney if we win the Georgia game because he's going to have that much better of a season. Like
If Tennessee wins the Georgia game and the Oklahoma game, even losing the Vandy game and the Alabama game, they're in the playoffs. And they're the season's ending is a different story. But we also wouldn't be in the situation where we are, where we have the full potential to be able to go even get better with now Jim Knowles at DC and all the capability. And I think we're fixing to go. You're going to see Josh Heupel. And I was telling a buddy this at work today. You're fixing to see Josh Heupel go balls to the freaking wall. Like I'm really expecting a different Josh Heupel this offseason going into just the approach to everything. Just going full hard at it, physicality, bar none. No one's questioning anything I do, and I'm fixing to make this team the team that goes and has every opportunity to go win national championship. So
let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. So freshman of the year, great hats off, tip the cap to Braylon Staley. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep building the next year. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. Chris Brazell being first team All-American. You had Josh Turbeville the kickoff specialist All-American. You had Arian Carter be third team All-American, I think. Colton Hood being third team All-American. Ty Redmond was as well on the third team. Lance Hurd, I think, was on the third team, and Sean Bishop was second team, I think.
Yes, Deshaun Bishop was second team, and I swear to the universe they should cut it as second team. I don't know why they got third team All-Americans or third team SEC, third team this, third team that. Congrats to the guys that made it, but I'm sorry. We got to I'm about to get rolling on the whole bowl game thing too. No, we just got to just cut it at two. Just cut it at two. Yeah.
So Tom, I hate to correct you. I know you responded back to Big R. Brazell actually does have another year of eligibility, but he will be going to.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's just.
I thought he was completely out. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
a redshirt junior, but everything's showing that he's going to go on to the NFL draft, along with some other guys. That's another segue. Great lead into this. Jamal McCoy announced today that he will be going to the draft. put out his thing that he will be entering the NFL draft. I it was unfortunate we didn't have him this year. Tip of the cap for what he did for the boys in orange and white last year. Hate we didn't have him, but he's got to go do him. So he go be that. He's projected on some boards a top 15 pick. So
no doubt.
Yeah, he's worth every penny. And go do great things, Jamad, like you did at Tennessee your 1 year. And the thing is, they said he was in the film room helping guys like Ty Redmond and Colton Hood, trying to get those guys better prepared for each week. So tip of the cap to him for just being a true Vol for life and doing what he needs to do. And for this team, even when he was out, to get this team ready week in and week out, and being just a good leader. So that was never questioned. I think Austin Price talked about it. Jamal McCoy's leadership has never been in question throughout this whole process. It's just, could he come back? He tried, but just circumstances with his knee would have pain or swelling come back up. Just what wouldn't happen. So that's going to be pretty much the last thing I was going to talk about. Last thing I want to wrap up the show with, guys, Big Mike and Tom, from all three of us, we appreciate all y'all for tuning in. I know we got up to our record high by a long shot on this show. We appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Big Mike, I'm going to let you close it out, brother. Give us your final thought for the show.
I'm like you. I'm still the new guy, somewhat. I appreciate y'all having me on, giving me the opportunity to come on here and talk about Tennessee football. It's just something that I love, something that my dad kind of got me into. When I was little, I've been watching Tennessee football for over 40, probably 35, 40 years now, and I remember a lot of the old names, back in the day, like Andy Kelly and people like that. I think that's as far back as I can remember as far as quarterbacks. But I love Tennessee football, and I like coming on here. I may not be as knowledgeable about certain things as, you guys might be, but I'm working on that, and I just appreciate the opportunity, and I just love it, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate it and appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Coach says, give us thumbs up, Twitter, X, YouTube. Just go on there, subscribe. Let's blow this thing up next year.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, man. It's fun, isn't it? Getting on here and just talking about Tennessee football, not gaslighting anybody, not throwing shade at anybody. Literally just look, just three dudes talking about what they love and being real about it, not trying to sell something, trying to give you a story and pound it and say, this is the story, buy it. This is the story. Look, all the big media outlets, they can't touch stuff like this. And, 20 years ago, I never would have seen something like this coming from YouTube, where anybody that actually knows what they feel and why they feel it can get on here and just say, hey, I don't like this, or I like this, I'm excited about it, or whatever. You just killed it, Mike. I'm telling you, man, that's literally what we're here for, is to just talk about and share what we think about Tennessee football, no matter how familiar or not, hey, anybody that's a Tennessee fan can come on and talk about Tennessee football.
Yeah.
And not get put down. Yeah.
Yeah. Vandy Chris here says, honest question real quick before we close out the show. With the failures of Bob Shoop and Tim Banks, why is Tennessee hiring another Penn State defensive coordinator? There was a reason Franklin didn't take him to Virginia Tech with him. I think my thing is, I think the resume just speaks for itself. I mean, I agree with you. I see what you're saying. I completely understand what the point you're coming from, but he had a good defense before all the failures of the season. They were killing it the first 4 games of the season, and then just crap downfalled. mostly because of the offense and the ineffectiveness and coaching failures of James Franklin. But there'll be issues that always happen from whatever coach it is. But I think Tennessee hit it out of the park, especially with what's out there. You can't lie about resume. The resume's set in stone. It's there. It's right in front of you. And so based off his resume, I don't think there was anyone better. I think Coach Heupel hit it out of the park as far as his 1A, who he wanted, what he wanted culture-wise, what he wanted fit-wise. I think this is Heupel's guy. So I hope I answered that for you, boss man. But I think that's why I think Coach Heupel was wanted and targeting Jim Knowles. So with that being said, great show, guys. Like B Mike said, like Tom said, give us a thumbs up if you like the content. Only if you like the content. I don't want you giving us a thumbs up if you don't like the content. We're all three guys that just love Tennessee Vols. We live, breathe, and we'd eat it if we could. We just that's what we do. We're guys that bleed orange. So Vandy Chris says, great point on the resume. Do you think the Washington D.C. was tipped off about Washington, Michigan, and backed out? Maybe. That's very possible. Very possible. So, but with that being said, I know more and more college football is ever flowing. It's something happens all the time. So, with that being said, great show. Y'all have a blessed day. Always a blessing to represent Smokey and this power and the Big Orange. So y'all have a great day and go Big Orange.
Go Vols.
I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? God time, we don't never waste. We don't never waste.